I'm Kitty.
And I'm Max.
And this is Dango Duo.
Welcome to Dango Duo in the morning. We have a cup of coffee with us.
We do have cups of coffee.
And today we have a very special video for you.
Dango Duo in the morning.
Dango Duo in the morning.
Everyone remember that first video? Don't.
Hey guys. So today's a special video because it's not a review, but it's a discussion. It's a long format discussion on something we did off screen that some of you are going to be like, whoa, you guys should have done that for the channel.
No, it would have been terrible.
It would have actually been insufferable.
It would have been really bad.
So,
it was bad enough on its own.
So, in our off time recently, we played Final Fantasy VII. The
classic RPG.
Oh yeah,
the beloved fan favorite.
The greatest Final Fantasy of all time. The
best Final Fantasy that has ever been made ever, said the guy who hasn't played it in 20 years.
So this should just set the tone for what you're in for.
Take a long sip of coffee, my friends.
We finished Final Fantasy VII from beginning to end. I had played a bit of it. I played it on the PC, and then I have also seen like 2 Let's Plays of it.
I had literally never seen a Let's Play or played it. Ever.
So Kitty came at this completely new, with brand new eyes.
Fresh eyes.
Now, just to be clear.
How many years? 22 years after it's been released?
Yeah. Now, Kitty has also played a bunch of old-ass RPGs, so she's not coming in like, whoa, what's this?
What is this? What's an RPG?
What are these polygons? They're so sharp, if you lean close enough to the screen, they'll cut you.
I mean, like, listen, it has been a while, but, like...
No, like...
I grew up on the N64,
yeah, so listen.
I played Harvestman 64 for literally hours. I know how ugly games can be. It's okay.
It's fine. So... we're gonna give you a quick summary of what Final Fantasy VII is, and we're not gonna do like pluses or minuses. We're just gonna talk about our points.
It's more gonna be like a spoiler zone.
It's gonna be more like a rant.
Yeah.
Can you give me the notebook, please?
Oh yes.
It has all of our notes.
Yes.
It's really gonna be more of a rant because we came out of this game not feeling very good.
No.
Kitty and I have 2 points each of us wants to go over. Then we're gonna go through all the characters in the game, and finally the ending.
That ending, though.
If you're unfamiliar with Final Fantasy VII, I mean.
Where have you been?
Where have you been?
But don't worry, we have a description for you.
Yeah, Kitty, what is Final Fantasy VII all about?
Final Fantasy VII is a 1997 role-playing game developed by Square for the PlayStation console. It is the 7th main installment of the Final Fantasy series. The game's story follows Cloud Strife, a mercenary who joins an eco-terrorist organization to stop a world-controlling mega-corporation from using the planet's life essence as an energy source. Events send Cloud and his allies in pursuit of Sephiroth, a superhuman intent on destroying their planet. Thank you, chinchillas. During the journey, Cloud builds close friendships with his party members, including Aerith Gainsborough, who joins the
Aerith Gainsborough?
Aerith Gainsborough. Gainsborough.
Who holds the secret to saving their world.
There we go.
Usually we would have done a second take, but listen,
It's fine.
Does Cloud build a close friendship with did he build a close friendship with Kate Sith? Did he build a close friendship with Sid, who literally lifted a middle finger and said, fuck you guys, I don't care about what your problem is.
Mm-hmm. We'll go over that later.
Did Cloud build a close friendship with Vincent?
Definitely not.
Who doesn't exist?
Where can I buy a cell phone?
We're gonna buy a cell phone. Okay, well that's not even from this game.
I know. But if it had been in this game, it would have been funner. Oh, that's my take my pills morning alarm.
That's the Dango Duo is getting too spicy alarm. Let's get back on track. Hey, Kitty.
Hi.
Tell me, what's the first thing you would like to talk about?
Let's just talk about it as a game first. We'll talk about the story later. Don't you worry. As a game, we played the PS4 re-release.
Yeah, not the remake. Don't worry. We should talk about the remake.
We will talk a little bit about the remake. But we played the PS4 re-release that has like a couple of cheats that you can enable. Basically, it's just no encounters, fast movement, and constantly healed and limit breaked.
Yeah.
And we still had trouble. But the thing I most want to talk about is, boy, it controls like fucking shit.
Every time I thought you were joking, you would hand me the controller and I would be like, okay, I want to move up.
I want to move down.
And then like...
And then you move back into the room you just came from.
The issue is that this game has all pre-rendered backgrounds and characters are moving on a pseudo 3D plane.
And the problem is, in typical Square Enix fashion, they only HD'd some of it.
Yeah.
So the sprites you can clearly see are different from the background because the background is low poly, pixely.
Yeah.
Like, if it had been updated just a little bit more, it would actually look really beautiful most of the time. But the problem is they didn't give a shit. So you have these, like, very apparent 3D objects on this very 2D, very plain background.
And most of the time...
You cannot tell where you're walking.
Like, most of our time navigating was, okay, is that the way to go? Is that the way to go? Oh, wait, no, you're supposed to go under that thing.
Or me trying to, like, turn the character to interact with an object would take, like, an average of 5 to 10 seconds just to interact with one object. And I'd be like, I'm pressing the button on, and I think I'm facing it, but I wasn't facing it, apparently.
Nope. And all those wonderful moments where you're supposed to go behind the background, somehow supposed to know that.
Yeah, you're supposed to know where you're controlling the character, even though your character model disappears. Which I get, it was cool for the time. They were like, ooh, look what we can do. But it's frustrating, and 22 years later, that Square didn't give a shit when they were remastering this, because, like, we were watching a video about this for Final Fantasy IX, but there's a PC mod that, like, makes the backgrounds like extra fucking beautiful, like kind of re-renders them in a way, and like with backgrounds that clear, I would have been able to kind of forgive the poor
visuals.
But like the fact that I can't control the character and the backgrounds don't make it apparent of which way is a road, which way am I supposed to go. I can go up this way, what? I can climb this, what? That just kind of compounds it all.
Remember the final dungeon where we're like, I don't know what's the way you're supposed to go. I don't know. Or the City of the Ancients.
Oh my God.
Where we're like, okay, is this the way forward? How do you get to that weird device that Bugenhagen?
Yeah.
Bugenhagen? Weird floaty man.
Bugenhagen.
Also, I realized that I didn't write this. And we'll talk more about this when the story shows up. It's really hard to take this story seriously.
Yeah.
Because it itself doesn't want to take itself seriously.
It's true.
But it is very serious.
But we're talking about terrorism.
But also, like, man, those models are just so bad.
They're really bad.
Like, I can't not see them as Lego pieces. I can't not see...
Mostly the overworld ones.
And especially, but also Eris. Eris's legs.
Her skirt that's not a skirt.
She's just wearing a romper. Like, just make her wear a romper, you freaking cowards.
Yeah.
But also, like, it just looks like she's a Lego. And especially, like Barrett, who looks like the Hulk Lego.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't unsee that. And especially because you're stuck with those character models for, like, 90% of the game. And for all of the story.
Yeah. I mean, like... It's fine when you get into battle and they've re-rendered the old, sprites to make them look a little bit better, a little more accurate for how they were supposed to look, but on the overworld, man, it just looks... And in most of the cutscenes, because it's the overworld sprites, you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, no. Also, like, Cloud has those really, really dumb Popeye arms that make me... Listen, I didn't like those models back in 1997, and I still don't like them, so whatever. You want to say something else about the game being feeling like shit?
The one thing I just remembered is that we should talk about a game that came out 2 years prior to this at some point.
So, yeah, and you mind if I just...
Go for it.
So, one of the things that, like, warmed my heart was that while we were playing Final Fantasy VII, there's a lot of very similar story beats in Final Fantasy VII, and very, similar plot points to a game that came out 2 years earlier in 1995 by Square titled Chrono Trigger.
Which we played on the channel.
And it was funny, Kitty being like, why do people think FF7 is so good? Like, Chrono Trigger did all of these story beats.
It did it all better 2 years earlier.
And better.
Yeah.
2 years earlier. It's just...
Like, this is a spoiler zone, so I can just say this.
Yeah.
Like... Killing a main character. They didn't even really do that in 7.
And removing the main character from the party.
Exactly, having you, like, have to reform your party.
Yeah, it's almost as though it's more meaningful when you have the player a chance to regain that party member, so that you get to have that moment of closure with every single member of the party when the character returns.
Yeah.
But no, instead just kill them halfway through the story for seemingly no good reason. Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah, and then Cloud becomes a vegetable for a little bit, but it's fine.
Oh man. When you saw that Cloud was sitting in a wheelchair, you were like, really?
This is how we tell he's sick.
This is how we show that someone is sick, okay?
He's in a wheelchair.
So here's something I want to talk about. I know the story of FF7, and I knew what we were going in for, and I knew what was going to happen.
And I kind of knew, but...
Yeah, you knew a couple of things.
Yeah.
And even knowing, I was so disappointed by the way the story handled it. I knew every single story beat, and I was like, okay, they're going to establish it. They're going to establish this a little bit, and they don't establish anything.
It's very, like, there's, like, tiny moments of, like... Wait, this doesn't quite seem right.
And it's tiny. It does the very convenient thing where it never shows you the moments where the steadying up happens, especially between Tifa and Cloud.
Yeah.
And Tifa's like, oh, I always thought this was a problem, but I never actually said anything about it.
I said it once in a tiny line.
And that is bad writing. That is really, 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 really bad writing.
Yeah, the only time I thought it was, like, clever about that was when, in the flashback, when they went to Cloud's mom's house.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only part where I was like, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, that's the one point. But even then, like, we were having issues with that whole plot thread.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so what does Tifa remember? Then what does Cloud remember?
What does Cloud think he remembers?
Then what does Cloud think he remember?
Like, how does he have these memories that he was not there for?
That he was not there for. So, it's silly.
But don't forget, Cloud is the biggest badass.
Oh my god. I like that at one point you were just like, oh my god, Cloud is just such a fucking Mary Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And he is.
He is.
And the worst part, oh no. By the way, on Friday we have a review of the Final Fantasy VII movie, Advent Children, coming up. So get excited for that. There are so many story beats in this game that just go absolutely nowhere. And I just want to say this right now. FF7's party is probably the worst party in any Final Fantasy game, and any fucking RPG of all fucking time.
I literally only cared about, like, 2 characters, and that was it.
Like, I need you to understand how I'm scrolling through my list of all the RPGs I've played. Star Ocean Till the End of Time, which is a bad game, has more memorable party members than fucking Kate Sid and Euphors.
Euphors. Fucking Euphy.
Okay, we're gonna get... And Red 13. Red 13, a character whose entire arc gets resolved the moment you meet him.
Pretty much. And then
that's hilarious.
The next scene, you're like, I see, this is what your character's about, and that's it.
It's so, like, he has nothing after that. His side quest is complete. You got his ultimate limit break as soon as he joins your party permanently.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It's very dumb. And he was a character I kind of liked.
Yeah.
But then he just, like, fucking disappears, and I'm like, well.
Also, there's several things in this story that just make me go, like, where was your editor? Because, yes, we do talk about the fact that Avalanche, which is the terrorist organization that Cloud, Baron, and Tifa are a part of, kills people, but we never actually fully bring it into the foreground. When the conversation happens, it's like 40 hours into the game.
Yeah.
30 hours
You're
into the game.
You're like, oh shit, should we have not killed all those people?
And I'm like, when they're going around causing all these problems in the fucking Mako reactors, I'm like, they are harming people who have nothing to do with Shinra.
Yeah, with people who live nearby or work there because it's the only job they can get.
And how do they justify this? They don't.
They're like, Shinra's bad, and that's it. Shinra's causing the planet to suffer, and that's it. And
also, like, I have so much trouble. The world of FF7 is just so barren. There is, there's only one mega city in the whole world map?
Yeah, that makes literally no
sense. It makes no sense. How can Shinra control the world when
there's only, like, one city on one continent?
Also, what did they eat? What did they eat in Midgard? Where are they getting their food from? Like,
eggs and chips.
Eggs and chips.
Eggs and chips.
I'm like... And there are not even that many memorable places in FF7.
No.
Like Cosmo Canyon is kind of a pain in the ass to get through.
I guess Nibelheim would be the second most...
Well, yeah, because you spend the most time there.
Exactly.
What about the snowboarding city, Kitty?
Fuck.
There's many story beats that go absolutely nowhere, and there is one point, and I just want to get this off my chest. The point in which the writing just dies. Because up until the point that I'm going to talk about, the writing had its problems.
But it was serviceable.
It was serviceable. And
it was getting us through.
And the worst parts of FF7 are the parts in which it just becomes anime. It just becomes this dumb video game where it's like, okay, in order to get into the Shinra fucking top city that lives below this, or that's above this city. You gotta jump on a dolphin.
Yep.
You gotta jump on a dolphin, Cloud.
Don't forget, you also had to cross-dress earlier.
You have to cross-dress and
seduce a man
and call a man daddy in order to solve this problem.
Yep.
And there are so many little moments like that. Little instances of the game just going, fuck it, it's a fucking video game.
That doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna play this game.
It's snowboard.
5
Escape
minutes.
from Shinra by snowboarding. But remember, this is a very serious game with a very serious message.
Jump on a fucking dolphin.
Don't worry, solve the problem by chocobo racing. I know we just kicked you out because you murdered someone, but we'll let you back in if you do a chocobo race.
If you become the greatest chocobo racer for this one match.
Fuck. And I know that, like, I've been in your party for, like, 10 minutes, but I just betrayed you.
Yeah.
And you have to keep having me in your party. And in 30 minutes, you're gonna be like, shucks, you're so good, Kate Sith.
Oh, Kate Sith.
Kate Sith is so fucking bad. Story beats, they go nowhere. But the writing dies in the Temple of the Ancients.
Yeah.
When you go into the Temple of the Ancients, the writing just fucking dies.
Takes a nosedive.
Something really bad's happening. We need to get out of this building as the hell P. Wait, hold on. What's that?
What are you saying? We gotta examine these murals?
Wait, no, hold on. Kate Sith's coming through. What does Kate Sith want to do? A little bit of matchmaking.
Woo!
Fucking destroy me right now. Just make the pain end, Kitty.
And it wasn't
so
even
bad.
just entirely that. It was like Aerith's writing during that.
It was so bad.
Area like literally made us go like, what do you mean?
And then literally every character introduction is just fucking like okay, we'll talk about Sid when we get there. But story beats and writing that just absolutely goes nowhere. And I want you to understand, Kitty sitting next to me is going, this is the story beat that defines FF7? Chrono Trigger did this. Chrono Trigger did the whole, an asteroid came into the planet and wants to destroy it and wants to return to the stars story beat 2 years prior by the same company.
And better. I'm just like thankfully Japanese players seem to have acknowledged that Chrono Trigger is the superior.
Yeah,
but in the West, like, Final Fantasy VII is the superior, and I'm like, this literally makes no sense. Hello, my son.
Yeah, Yanto wants to get...
Oh, that was a good meow.
Yanto's like, no, why are you screaming about video games? Why aren't you feeding me?
Why aren't you feeding me tweets? Oh, here you come.
Here he comes. Here comes the boy.
I wanna see my little boy.
Here he comes.
Oh, Yanto.
Just say it all, you big dummy. Kitty, let's talk about the next point.
Speaking of the snowboarding.
Yours and mine are completely intertwined. Kitty, what else do you want to talk about regarding the Final Fantasy VII game? Yanto. That's our cat bumping the mic.
Hello,
Consider yourself blessed.
Yes, you've been blessed by the Yantos. Speaking of snowboarding, would you like to snowboard in this RPG for 5 minutes without any music? With shitty controls so you just bounce against everything?
We're not exaggerating.
No, there's literally no music in that scene.
The snowboarding minigame takes I thought it... Because this is the thing. This is where you have to go back and replay all the shit that you grew up with so that you take off the rose-tinted glasses.
The nostalgia glasses.
Because I misremembered the snowboarding minigame being a minute long.
It's fucking 5 minutes. There's no music. It also controls like shit.
And it controls that. And didn't I hold it for a second? And I was
you were like, oh, Kitty, just go straight. And I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? I think I did give it to you for a second to be like, here, feel this. And then we're like, oh, that's fucking shitty.
And you know what this game is full of, Kitty?
Mini games.
There is a WarioWare game inside of FF7. Okay, no. Make him settle. The cat's gonna go through the mic again. There you go. Yanto, you live here now, on your mom's lap.
You live here. Oh, no.
Nope. Alright, guys, hold on. The cat's gonna go through the mic. Yanto, my son. My beautiful son.
My son. Don't bite me.
In case you're wondering, our cat is a Russian blue. He is a big baby. He has a baby face. He's beautiful.
He's almost 5 and he's a baby.
He's 5 years old and he has a baby face.
Hi.
He has big round eyes,
Green
like a doll.
eyes. Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, there's a WarioWare game in FF7. There are so many mini-games that show up once. Actually, none of them reappear.
I guess you could do the Chocobo races again, but who the fuck would want to? The
whole Golden Saucer is full of stupid minigames that don't come back. There's a point-and-click adventure game about a Moogle in there. There's fucking there's a bunch of minigames in there. Oh, there you go. He's moving now. You have slapping, dodging a slap, giving CPR, jumping with a dolphin.
Snowboarding.
Chocobo racing.
Wasn't there was another, like, really bad one, but I cannot remember what it was.
Like, the Golden Saucer is just fucking full of them. Like, the fucking basketball hoops one.
Oh, yeah.
The arm wrestling one, which is bullshit. You have the fighting game in there. You have a racing game in there.
Oh, the fucking arena, which is some fucking...
Oh, the arena's so fucking bad.
Woo!
Chocobo races. There is more, but they're not coming back to me right now.
No, I feel like there was one at the beginning of the game, too. That
and don't forget the platforming. Suddenly platforming
in this RPG that controls like shit.
You can literally make a WarioWare game out of all of the stupid minigames. Like, catching the rope in Midgar as you're supposed to, like, cross through.
That shit was bullshit.
I remember both of us. Like, you tried it, and I'm like, no, babe.
You're not doing it right.
Babe, you're doing it wrong. And then I
give it to you, and you're like, oh,
this controls
it's just shitty.
This controls like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Do you mind if I just say my point?
Go for it.
Upon replaying the game and seeing how every 30 minutes there's some sort of weird, stupid mechanic, time for a marching parade, make sure to press the buttons in the right order.
Not like it matters.
And someone is like, would you get a reward? Yes, shut up. But there are all these little mini games, and it really feels like FF7 is ashamed of being an RPG. It's trying so hard not to be a Final Fantasy game. Like, the story is trying to be super different, and even though it shares story beats with Chrono Trigger, and it shares so many story beats with FF6, which is the previous game in the series.
Right.
And the combat itself is super generic. The combat in Final Fantasy is the same combat you've done before. The only difference is that it has limit breaks in there, and the materia system. The materia system is the most intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, we're playing Final Fantasy VI right now. Like, when you get to Espers, you'll be like, oh, it's the same thing as materia, because it is.
Yeah.
So, even then, Final Fantasy, mechanically, is just another RPG. So it fills up the time with weird mini-games that just feel as though the game didn't want to... Oh my god, the cat's back.
Get into it, my son.
Kitty, hold the notebook. I'm gonna... Oh, he's settling. Oh, thank God. He's going to settle.
It's like, what can I sit my butt
I feel like FF7 is, like, ashamed of being an RPG. Because it's trying its hardest at every turn to be like, okay, something needs to happen. We can't... Like, it feels like an amateur writing ashamed of having narration in their story or having just description. Yeah. So they're like, action, action, action. Okay, time for you. Scarlet's gonna slap you, okay? You have one time, one chance to dodge her slap, okay? 3, 2, 1. That's it. That minigame, it's over.
We're not bringing it back again.
Never gonna come back again. Okay? Alright, okay, now, Tifa is on top of the Sister Ray. And they're just talking. Okay. Now, slap fight.
Slap fight.
Slap fight.
But it's not the same as the other dodging the other slap.
Okay,
not the same game.
I know that the game's almost over, but how about a submarine? You now have a submarine.
You can now control a submarine. Go find the one thing. Avoid the weapon.
Oh my god, it's just okay. Also, I know what you're thinking. I know this is an RPG, but would you like an RTS section inside of this game? Welcome to Fort Condor. You have to pay. To
have this shitty...
To have the right to play this shitty RTS game.
That someone developed.
And because when I was playing this, I thought, okay, that Square just have like 1,000 demos, and they were like, fuck it, just shove them into the game. No, they hired other companies to make these segments. They hired someone to make the Fort Condor mechanics. They hired someone to do the submarine mechanics. They hired someone to do the snowboarding mechanics.
They're all separate things.
They're separate things that they purposefully made for the game. It's just silly.
It is.
It's just silly.
It's stupid.
Oh my god.
And then they just keep using the same music tracks anyway, so what's the point?
This is not in the list, but like, FF7 has 90 tracks in its OST. It's actually 83, but whatever. Almost 90 tracks, and he reuses the same 4 for like almost every scene. Nobuo Uematsu is a master of making soundtracks for video games.
His soundtracks are great. And yet they only used like 10 songs total.
And I think part of it, because there's in the Wikipedia page, there's a whole part where he talks about it. And he's like, he made it like a movie soundtrack where he focused more on the emotions as opposed to stuff that fit the themes, as he usually does. So that's why a bunch of tracks just feel like they just don't fit.
Yeah.
The greatest track in the game is the One Winged Angel theme.
Yeah, that you hear once at the end of the game.
Or you hear once at the end of the game.
It's the best track, but
it's almost as though it's better when the soundtrack has shared themes that kind of intertwine with one another, and you have themes that come back later on.
No, that's not fun enough. Make a fucking movie.
It's hilarious when, like, you know, Uematsu has been through this, and like he didn't make the soundtrack for Chrono Trigger. That's Yasunori Mitsuda, but he did help when half of the soundtrack burned. So like, I don't know. It pains me
to think such a talent could make something. And, like, I can't 100% say it's his fault, because, like, literally how many tracks were used in this? It felt like...
apparently there's 83 tracks.
But it felt like it was, like, 10 at most.
I mean, I felt like there's, like, 20 tracks.
Yeah.
One for every town. And then, like, the dramatic...
overworld,
the dramatic
the battle.
Theme, the battle theme, the boss theme.
And then Sephiroth had his own semi-theme.
Yeah, the one that goes, like... Oh, yeah. Feels good to get all this out. Just getting all the demon out.
Exercising
the demon. Kitty?
Needs to exercise.
Want to go through the characters?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about our protagonist, little Mr. Mary-Sue Cloud?
Boy.
What's the genderless version of Mary-Sue? Or I guess the masculine version of
Gary Stu.
Gary Stu. I prefer Gary Stu, mostly because Mary-Sue is primarily used only on female characters. To shame female characters. Yeah. We're shaming a male character because he's fucking badly written anyway, so...
It's true.
Go on. Gary Stu.
Yeah, he's, you know, I thought... I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. His character really doesn't make any sense.
No, and it also doesn't make sense how he ends up where he ends up in the movie, especially considering how by the... Like, Cloud is such a self-insert because he gets to do all of the cool things, and he
rides a bike.
No. In the flashback where you learn that he was actually just a lame nobody, he still gets to kill Sephiroth.
He kills Sephiroth 3 times in the course of this game.
And like he gets to bang the girl. And the game is still selling him to be like this like flawed, like imperfect, angsty character, when I'm like, he's kind of a power fantasy, because
he is.
He spends half the game thinking he's the strongest person in the world, and then he learns that he is the strongest person in the world. So I mean, like,
right? He just didn't have the same fame.
I have a joke. Should I tweet this? I want to tweet. I want to make a tweet, and the caption is gonna be, what's the thing about a family? Like, a family can be anything, even colon, and then I have an image, and the image has Lucrezia that says your mom, Hojo, it says your dad, Vincent, your actual biological dad, and then have Genova, like the mom that gave you all the alien genes, Sephiroth, your brother, and then it's like all the
Sephiroth clones,
like all your other brothers, and then Cloud, you. A family can be anything.
It's true.
Can even be your mother, your dad, your bio dad, your alien genetic mom, your brother, your brothers, and you.
And then, like, technically, isn't Sephiroth related to the Ancients also?
Oh my god, yeah, and
they're your cousin,
and your second removed cousin in the form of Eris.
Yep.
No.
I thought there was some relation.
No, because he thought he was an ancient, but it turned out he was
just a science experiment.
He's Genova boy.
Genova boy.
What about oh, by the way, things about Cloud that are. That's the alarm to keep getting spicy. Raise up the spiciness.
Raise loop.
I always like to remind myself to get extra spicy at 8:55 a.m.
That's true.
Cloud's design is really... He has like... Okay. In a different world, I could have the headcanon where I'm like, Cloud is just a butch lesbian. Because like, high-waisted pants.
Yep.
a turtleneck without sleeves.
Yup. Spiky ass hair.
And that stupid spiky ass hair. Like, headcanoning Cloud as a butch lesbian is really effective, except it's not. And then, like, the one shoulder pad with weird, like, bolts coming out of it.
You know, as you do.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
It's really bad. And, like, I don't even feel like he's a good main character. Like, he kind of goes through the story beats without actually feeling like, you know, he's changed. Because, like, he has that speech towards the end of the game where he's like, yeah, we're going to do good, and, you know, you can all do your own thing, but we're going to keep going, and that's supposed to inspire the team.
It doesn't feel like he's earned it,
No.
because Cloud has had everything handed to him.
Yeah.
It feels... Also, like, through the beginning of the story, he's just like, I don't care, which is the most, like we're making this character for teenage boys. It's like, I don't care. I'm part of a... I'm just here for the money. Cloud, you're killing people just for the money?
Damn,
Isn't that
bitch.
fucked up?
Damn bitch, you live like this?
Don't worry, though. He has a childhood friend who's hot, and then he meets another girl who's hot, and then everybody thinks he's cool,
like,
and then he has to save the world.
Oh, which one you gonna bang? And he's like, I don't know, maybe both.
I don't know, and then the game's like, neither. But anyhow.
Game's like, you can have this one.
I thought that upon a fourth playthrough of this game, that I would see all the moments in which Cloud shines, and like the only moment where there's any build up towards the reveal of Cloud is that flashback.
Yeah, it's that time when he's at his mom's.
And there are those points where like Cloud's like memory appears to be fuzzy later on, but all of those are concentrated just before the plot twist related to him.
Yeah, so they forget about it for a few hours and then come back to it.
So it really does feel as though like they remembered. It's like, or they're like, we need to establish this now, but we can't go back and like edit the writing. Well, that's silly.
No, those are already pre-rendered. We gotta go.
Before we move forward, there's something I want to clarify, because I know someone's gonna be yelling at me and saying that, oh, the problem with the writing is the translation. You are a very naive person. Do you think that that Square just hands over the manuscript for FF7 and goes, okay, you, John Smith, translate this into English, and you can just do all the changes you want.
Shit you want.
You think that Square doesn't actually check and approves every single flavor change or every single change of a sentence in the adaptation of the fucking writing in this game? You are naive if you think that the person who translated has all the power.
No.
You're silly. You're silly. Square Enix approved of this translation. And they might have even been the ones who
did it.
Who demanded certain changes.
Yeah.
Against the better judgment of, the writers.
We gotta make the money.
Gotta make them, and also especially that moment in Temple of the Ancients where I'm like, I can feel the writer go, oh my god, the source material for this fucking sucks. Just translate it as it is, because what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't change it to make it like
you can't change
legible.
Mr. Square Enix is gonna knock at your door and be like, hey, why did you change these lines? Clearly,
very important.
At this moment, we want to have a matchmaking moment. Because we haven't jerked Cloud's dick in a little bit. Come on.
Kate Sith needs redemption.
Tickle his balls a little. Come on.
God.
The players are gonna stop playing the game 20 hours in. Let's talk about knockers. I mean, Tifa.
Yeah. She was one of the characters I actually did like. There's like two.
Yeah.
So,
Tifa is pretty good overall.
Yeah, her oh yeah, I thought this was weird and I never mentioned it, was kind of was annoying more than anything.
That's the bad part, yeah.
Yeah, but like overall, other than her terrible design, which thankfully they are actually working on in the remake.
And anyone who's like, okay, let's just say it, gamers are the dumbest people in the whole freaking world.
Yes.
Because we have all these controversies about like Tifa's breasts for the remake, and I'm like, I remember Kitty and I watching the cutscenes where you can see Tifa and her breasts are cartoonish.
And they jiggle sometimes too. They actually jiggle. They animated that. Forget
about the whole fact that you're just sexualizing this woman. Like she is here for eye candy for you. Yeah. Like let's just ignore that and realize that
her own autonomy.
And acknowledge the fact that like that design is just fucking atrocious.
It's bad.
Like those are like balloons attached to her chest. Yeah. They look silly.
Aerith doesn't get that treatment.
She gets it a little.
A little, but a lot less.
A lot less.
No, Tifa I actually do. I do quite enjoy her character. She was the one that I always wanted in the party, no matter what.
No, absolutely. Also, the fact that she fights is really good.
Yeah, she just fucking punches and kicks everything. I love that.
In Final Fantasy games, up until this point, the brawler character had been reserved for male characters. So it was nice to see Tifa kicking and fighting, and
kicking ass.
I like that in the flashbacks she's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I wish that's I hope that's the skin you can get in the in the remake, though. Don't worry, the remake won't matter.
The remake won't finish.
Tifa's pretty. Oh god, we'll get there. Tifa's pretty good, honestly. Her battle system is really cool.
Yeah.
And we kept her in the party the whole time, so we got the most Tifa dialogue possible, because she's probably one of the only rays of hope in this game. And
she's also one of the most important characters.
She also is. It's true.
Yeah.
Tifa's pretty... I'm pretty positive towards Tifa.
I do really like Tifa. Fucking, this game's bad, but even I could see myself cosplaying either Tifa or Aerith.
Tifa's really good.
Yeah. I think I'm more suited to Aerith.
Yeah, you're really... You would make it really good.
A really tall Aerith.
Oh my god, someone is going... Oh, it's Aerith.
Whatever.
Aerith, it doesn't fucking matter.
Potato.
It's a fucking character in that video game. Nothing matters. In 500 years, everyone is dead. It doesn't matter.
That's true. I mean, Aerith was dead before that. Hey-o.
Yeah, oh, hey-o. Did you know? Okay. The funny thing is that, like, I remember one of my favorite Let's Plays of Final Fantasy VII is Get Dave's Final Fantasy Let's Play. Final Fantasy VII Let's Play. And even in the beginning, he's sharing the story about the first time he played the game at a party with some friends. And the girl that he was playing it with, it just spoiled him right away. He was like, oh, I like this girl, Aerith. And she was like, oh, no. He's like, why? She dies.
God.
So, even then, the year the game came out, listen, if you didn't know that Aerith dies, don't worry. It's anticlimactic, and it comes out of nowhere, and there's...
And I just spent hours with her in the party, because I couldn't leave the Temple of the Ancients to get her out of the party, so she stayed in the party.
And all those levels went to waste.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Barret.
First Barret, then back to Aerith.
Yeah. There's a black man in this game.
God, and it sucks because I wish I liked him. Because it's a dad story.
It's a dad story.
I love dad stories. He's got a little girl that's not his, but he took care of her.
I actually thought that the whole storyline with Marlene was gonna pluck at your heartstrings strongerly, but then upon playing that section, I'm like, Dyne. His name was Dyne. The thing with Dyne was actually,
it's so fucking stupid.
It was actually fucking.
He's just like,
stupid.
All right, I guess I'll just die. And you're like, what about your child?
He's like, I can't go back, and I'm like, it's the most stupid male writing ever. Yeah. It's like, I can't go back and have a normal life, so I'm gonna commit suicide
and leave my daughter,
right? and leave my daughter without her biological father. So, but Barret is kind of like a stereotype.
It's worse in the movie, but
it's actually way worse in the movie.
Yeah, because he has a voice, and it's a very it's very black. But like, what does that mean in Final Fantasy VII?
See, that's the thing that was like. It destroyed my mind, because I'm like, okay, because listen, is there black culture in Midgar? Because Barret is the one black person we see. I need you to understand, there's a bunch of orange people in Final Fantasy, but there's no more black people in Final Fantasy VII.
And I feel like Midgar would be a place to kind of explore that, of like the poor, population, the slums.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the thing that gets me is that, like, are there black people in Final Fantasy VII? And how is it that in this fantasy-ass setting, they develop the same black culture that we know in our reality? It almost feels as though Barret stepped through a portal from, black stereotype land to Final Fantasy VII. And there's literally no explanation why he speaks in that particular mannerism. It's just...
Nobody else does.
It's really disingenuous.
Yeah.
And it's that thing where, like, until you realize it, you're like, it's fine.
But then he's black.
But when you squint your eyes, you're like, why is he acting this way in this fantasy world?
Anyway, race issues aside.
Also, is Cloud white? Or is he Japanese? What race is Cloud?
Because, in the movie, Tifa appears very obviously Asian.
Yeah. Also, Shinra is a Japanese name, and Hojo is a Japanese name, but...
It's like they didn't think.
It's like they didn't think, and they were like, they just shoved all the anime in there.
Pretty much.
As for Barret, he's the other one we had in the party the whole time.
Well, after Aerith died.
Take a shot of water every time we just pronounce Aerith's name in a completely different way.
That's fine. I like Aerith better.
Yeah.
Even though it's stupid.
Yeah, I like Aerith just because I like the phonetic nature of it, but it's fine. Barret, his whole... Because I need you to understand that, like, in order for me to believe that this man would go from someone who sides with Shinra to someone who is actively killing people... to stop Shinra, I need way more than just, oh, they did a bad thing in my town.
They made me out to be the baddie.
Like, I really feel like we needed more of Barrett explaining why he made this course of action.
Yeah. Like, he put his daughter, his adoptive daughter in danger.
Yeah, because he's putting he's killing people. I need you to understand this. He is a terrorist. His whole purpose is to incite change into a particular system through terror.
Through violence and terror.
And isn't it funny how Japanese writer thought the only person who could be leading this terrorist organization had to be a dark-skinned person? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. It just seems a little odd to me that the one black person happens to be the leader of the terrorist organization.
It's a little, much.
A little much, huh? Don't worry, in the remake, Barrett is still black as hell.
He's maybe more black because
he has a voice. He has a voice, yeah. Man. I would love to hear Barrett in the remake call Cloud a white-ass boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, using the white slang.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you white-ass boy. Cloud is a white-ass boy.
He is a white-ass boy.
Is that a bad bit, Kitty?
No, it's fine.
Let's talk about
the other good party member.
Let's talk about Eris.
Yay. I like her. Up until she had her, nosedive into writing hell.
Okay. Are you ready for me to be the most cynical person in the world?
That's fine.
You're supposed to like her.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the girl next door.
She's nice.
Kind of thing. She is way too... She has absolutely no negative traits.
Pretty much.
Like she is a fantasy of a woman. Mm-hmm. She is I'm reading a book about this stuff, and it's really meaningful. Like, she reminds me a lot of that sentiment where people can fall in love with a stranger in the streets because they can be whatever you want them to be, and they don't have any flaws.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, a lot of romances go sour when you're like, oh, I finally met the person that I had a crush on, and then you're like, oh, they're actually a human being with flaws and problems, and they can't just solve all of my problems. Here comes the real-ass realness, let's fucking go. I like Eris, but I think it's because we're supposed to like Eris and just fall in love with her so that when she
when she dies, it's meaningful.
And isn't that just kind of fucking shitty?
Yeah.
There's no conclusion to her. There is nothing to her. And there's a stupid throwaway line where, like, oh, she sacrificed herself. She Jesus Christ herself knowingly.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, that was in a thing we were reading, but yes.
No. When they talk about the white materia, they're like, she was praying, and she knew she was gonna die. See, she was so smart that she willingly died.
Yep.
That's dumb.
It is dumb.
Can we just say that that's really dumb?
Also, having not really ever seen that famous cutscene before, and especially in context.
Oh my god.
That cutscene's pretty bad.
Oh, the cutscene where Sephiroth just falls from the ceiling.
Yep, with his sword at a terrible angle and somehow goes through her diagonally despite him falling vertically.
Vertically, yeah. Yeah, no, like, a bunch of cutscenes are really dumb.
Yeah.
It's really silly.
It is silly. We don't talk about Sephiroth in this.
Oh, yeah. You want to just talk about Sephiroth? Because we're done with talking about Eris. That's it. There's nothing else to her.
Yeah.
I like her, but we're supposed to like her. She's this perfect woman ideal. She's
nice. She's pretty.
You know what? She's the Yamato Nadeshiko. That's what it is. She's a perfect Japanese woman. She's also very quiet, which strangely fits into that category as well.
She's like less quiet than you would expect, but still.
The one trait about her that I really like is that, like, she says the one thing that men find to be the most horrible turn off ever. She talks about previously dating somebody.
That's true.
And like, and I like that she feels like she's a little bit older than Cloud.
Yeah.
That's what she feels like, the girl next door who's like 2 years, 3 years older.
Yeah,
than
it's
you.
like slightly your senior.
And so it's the girl you have like a crush on because like you're in middle school and she's in high school, and she just encapsulates all like the cool things of growing up, and you're like, oh man,
I want to be that cool.
But when she talks about her previous relationship, of course being Zack, like I like that.
Yeah,
that made her seem like a real person,
an actual real person.
And she,
and especially like I really like her relationship with her adoptive mom too.
Yeah,
like the fact that they actually talk about it's like, oh yeah, she's not my real mom, but she raised me and she loves me and I love her and stuff like that.
That's good.
It's really good.
Those are the really good moments that make Eris shine.
And then right before she dies, it's the really bad moments that make her.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about like. Oh, no. Kitty Sephiroth. What do you think of Sephiroth now that you know the full story?
Really fucking lame.
The worst part is that. Yeah, just snoring.
There's a big snore.
There's the bad writing in this game manifest. Okay, pitfalls in writing in general. I think from someone who writes books for a living is creating an antagonist who is absolutely completely unrelatable and unredeemable.
And like they kind of try at the beginning, and then they just throw it out the water.
Because I think there is something relatable in Sephiroth. Because in my recollection, I thought they explored this way more. It's a throwaway line.
It's like a tiny line.
Sephiroth is the greatest soldier who has ever lived. I want you to realize the adoration behind this person. People want to join the army because he's so cool. I want you to understand.
They want to be even half of a fraction of as cool as he is.
He has a stupid-ass long sword. He has the Masamune, by the way. That is the Masamune, because it appears in every Final Fantasy game. And there it is right there.
Of course.
He is the coolest. He is the strongest. He is the most famous soldier of all.
He's the prettiest.
He's the prettiest. He's fucking gorgeous.
Everyone wants to be him or fuck him.
Yeah, would you rather fuck Sephiroth or be fucked by Sephiroth? That's the question that we ask ourselves every morning. But the thing is, if you are this amazing person and you learn one day that you
were engineered to be that way.
You were made to be this way. I can understand how heartbreaking that is to realize that up until this point you have worked so hard and you have trained, and you have trained. It wasn't like it was just handed to you, but you are that extra better because you were made to be better. And just imagine how that would fuck you up as a person. And you would go from like having this, almost gratitude for your job that has earned you all this fame. And you go from having that gratitude to having this disdain for the people around you, the people who've been
idolizing you, and
laughing behind your back and knowing that you're a fake, that you're an imposter. And this sentence, this paragraph is way more. If this had been in the game, Sephiroth would be even more iconic. It would be probably the best Final Fantasy antagonist.
It's true.
But he is not.
No, he's just a maniac.
He goes from a person who seems relatively normal, asking Cloud, "Hey, you're back in your hometown. How does it feel?"
Yeah, you want to go see your mom?
Which is very humanizing, and I like that. And unfortunately, the remake is gonna take all that away because Sephiroth's gonna show up way earlier, being evil in your brain.
Yeah.
And you go from that to immediately flips and just starts going psycho.
He just murders the entire town.
Which, again, I need you to understand that, if that was a real person, the jump from 0 to psycho has to be justified. And it's bad writing when you just have it be a single thing.
Yeah. And they try to talk about it, but it's just not talked about enough. And it needed more time in the oven. And
the worst part about Sephiroth is that you actually don't see Sephiroth in this game until the very end. You don't meet the real Sephiroth. Every instance of Sephiroth that you see or you encounter in this game
up until the last boss fight basically is
Jenova. I don't know, if you don't know this, get fucking ready for a fucking mind twister. You don't meet Sephiroth until the end. Every single person you've met along the way
is a clone.
Has been either a clone or Jenova pretending to be Sephiroth. That is the canonical explanation for every time
those black hooded guys who turn out to be big giant monsters instead.
Well, and all the times you fight Sephiroth, and then instead of fighting Sephiroth in the battle, you fight Jenova Life or Jenova Death, and it looks like a weird mutant thing. Yeah. Because all of those are just Jenova.
Sephiroth's been sleeping.
Sephiroth has been... Yeah, because he had been sleeping in that crystal up until the time that Cloud is reunited, and he gives him the black materia.
Like an idiot. I wish that was explained. That was explored more.
Oh my god. And it's one of those weak moments where it's like, okay, well, how can we get the black materia into Sephiroth's hands?
When
we'll just have Cloud get mind controlled.
And I feel like...
Because Cloud is also a Sephiroth clone. Isn't it great?
I feel like that could have been a good story beat. Because I didn't actually know that. Because I knew that Cloud wasn't who he thought he was.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he was a failed clone.
Don't worry. I forgot about it.
Yeah. Because I feel like that could be a powerful moment of Cloud realizing, also relating to the villain, being like, I am also not what I think I am.
Yeah, it's almost as though the writing could have been there is so much potential here and it's all wasted. Also, I mean, we don't have Zack on the list, but Zack is nothing.
Zack has more moments in the movie than anything else.
I thought there was so much more Zack in this game, and there isn't. And I guess we must have skipped the sequence somewhere because you didn't get to see Zack dying, where Zack literally just goes out into a field and gets shot to death.
Yeah.
That's it. And Zack is... I thought there was more Zack in this game, but there isn't.
No.
Also, Zack looks fucking dumb. He has like a lion's mane. It's
I know, it's kind of dumb.
Sephiroth. How did you like... you had the same reaction that everyone else had to his final form, where he has no legs.
It's just tentacles. Like, waist up, looking dope. Looking cool, Sephiroth. Waist down, what the fuck, Sephiroth? What's your tentacle fantasy doing here?
In my old Spanish Final Fantasy guide, they're like, I know you're gonna fight Sephiroth, and he's wearing like a weird like Hawaiian feather skirt.
God.
No one likes that appearance of Sephiroth.
That final design.
And also, you're like, where's the one-winged angel thing? I'm like, it's from that point.
It's literally that.
It's literally the last moment you see. Although, actually, the last thing you see with Sephiroth is pretty cool, except it's a little undermined. When he's just shirtless, holding his sword.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's unfortunately undermined by the fact that, like, that's just an auto fight.
Yeah, you just win.
And it sucks, because, like, we struggled to get Omnislash to make it through the game a little bit easier. And then for that final point in the game, if you don't have Omnislash, the game just gives you Omnislash.
Yeah. There will be videos somewhere in this video of us struggling in the battle arena to fucking get Omnislash.
It's an amazing game!
It's great.
10 out of 10.
I love this. I love this.
I love not being able to play the game and not being able to win and losing all of my progress once we leave the room that we're in.
This is hell. This is what hell looks like. Which was like a 2 or 3 hour endeavor.
No, okay, I think it was like 4 hours. We spent half
It was like
of
half
the day.
a day, yeah.
Like it took us more time to get Omnislash than it took us to actually beat the game.
Yeah, it's true. That was fucking awful.
Final thoughts on Sephiroth?
He could be a good villain, but instead he's just kind of your generic villain.
It's one of those unfortunate things, because, like, Final Fantasy villains have always been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like probably the best one is actually Jecht. Jecht?
Yeah, Jecht is actually,
Jecht is probably the best one.
He's a great villain, because, like, at first you're like, yeah, I hate him, but then Yuna talks about him, and you're like, oh, is he a good guy? And then it kind of goes back and forth the entire time.
You know what? I'm gonna go through, okay? Final Fantasy I, Garland is okay. Final Fantasy II, the Prince, the King of Polymesia, okay. 3, the Cloud of Darkness is literally an entity that looks like a lady. 4, oh my god, fucking that guy, I forget his name, he starts with a G. He's okay. Final Fantasy V, you have X-Death, that's a badass name. You also go to the moon in that game. Final Fantasy VI, you have Kefka, who I think is pretty good, because he's just like...
he's fucking crazy.
He's just a man. He's basically the Joker in the Final Fantasy universe.
Which is fair.
Which is fair. You don't have to be a weird magical being. Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth, not good.
No.
Final Fantasy VIII, Ultimecia, who's not actually even who they claim they be, so they're not even... It's fine, they're bad. Unfortunately, I don't think Kuja is that good of an antagonist when you boil everything down to it. He's a good distraction, but Kuja has issues. We'll get to it. They don't shatter Final Fantasy IX. I love FF9, and spoilers. We're playing that on the channel. I don't know if we're playing it all right now.
I'm pretty sure we will.
But FF10.
10 has actually kind of 1.5 villains with Seymour as well. Seymour's pretty one-dimensional, but like he's fun to hate.
It's funny because Seymour is almost like Sephiroth, but
he is.
Seymour is fun to hate.
Yeah, because he's just this outlandish, extravagant, gonna take your girl kind of dude, and you're like, oh, I fucking hate that guy. Yeah, it's great. But Jecht is actually really
Jecht is actually probably the best. Like that final exchange between Jecht and Tidus is actually so good, and I like that it really. Like if you want to have the headcanon of Trans Tidus, it really works.
It really works.
Final Fantasy XI is an MMO. Final Fantasy XII, you have fucking Bosch's brother.
At least it's connected to the main
Final
characters.
Fantasy XIII, who's the antagonist in 13? I forget.
The world.
Fuck, never mind. Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO. Final Fantasy XV, who's the antagonist
in 15? I literally have no idea.
So there you go. I think Jecht is the best Final Fantasy antagonist.
He's so good.
And he's so good. Remember that scene where like Tidus is having a flashback and Jecht just walks away with 2 girls with an armor on his girl?
He's like, hey kid, you fucking wimp.
Oh Dad, he's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's so cool.
He's so cool even when he beats me.
Even when Jesus Christ. Add Blitzball, not like physically abusing him, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I always got that a little bit.
You always
got like a hint of like, well, doesn't he abuse their mom? His mom?
He might have abused the mom, yeah.
That's why I was like,
Yeah, no, that's fair. FF10 is so good.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to it because even like
now that
we're going through the characters. Let me tell you, we're out of iconic characters.
we're in the losers.
We're in the losers.
Bracket.
We're stuck in Sephiroth because we don't want to go through fucking Kate Sith, but like Kate Sith. The one thing I want to say, FF10 has... Okay, we're playing FF9. The characters are already way more iconic than FF7 characters. FF10, you have Lulu. You have Wakka. Wakka is racist as fuck, but he's fun. See, Dango Duo is gonna let your racism slide if you're fun at the very least. That's not true. Don't quote me. That's a joke. You have Wakka. You have Luna. You have Tidus. You have
Yuna.
Yeah, there's a Yuna already?
You said Lulu.
Yuna. You have
Riku.
Auron. Auron is fucking... You have Seymour. You have fucking...
Kimari.
Jet. Kimari is forgettable, but he's remarkable in how forgettable he is.
And that design is like fucking balls, too.
That design is fucking balls. He's a wasted mechanical opportunity because his mechanics fucking suck. But other than that, the cast of FF10 and FF9 are so fucking memorable.
And even like the nobodies in 10, like the other summoners that are along the way that you're like, God, I hate these guys.
And even like Sid.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he's related to Yuna, and it's so cool that Riku, Yuna, and Sid are related.
Yeah. Don't tell Wakka.
Don't tell... Yeah, man. You wanna go get some... Wanna go kill some Albed, man? Anyhow. Woo!
Let's talk about the nobodies. No, it's not Kingdom Hearts.
Let's talk about Red 13.
Who is the only other like character I even sort of liked.
You were so thrown off when he joined the party, and you were like, the dog is joining the party?
We have a dog.
Can you pet the dog?
You cannot pet the dog.
And his name is Red 13. It's the most anime name. A teenage boy came up with that.
Well, that, and then his real name being Nanashi, which basically means nothing.
Ugh, that's so bad.
It literally means nothing.
Also, the writers can't... There's plot holes in the story regarding Red 13.
Most of the plot holes in the story revolve around Red 13.
It's like Red 13 is the last of his kind, but he was also an experiment. But his grandpa is a man, but Red still has offspring 500 years later, and he's still alive.
And his dad is also a dog?
And his dad is also a dog, but it makes no sense. Also, his dad's still alive, even though he's still like he's a statue. Fuck it, forget it. Also, Hojo wanted Red 13 and Aerith to fuck.
Yeah.
I want you to remember how...
He wanted to make a genetic mutation between the two of them.
I mean, fucking living the dream, I guess.
Thanks, Hojo. And then Red's, like we said, Red's character arc gets completely resolved.
Yeah. When Red joins your party at the when you leave Cosmo Canyon, his character arc is complete. All the character arcs, and most of them fucking suck, are completed by gaining the final limit break, which usually is the final side quest.
But they don't. Really
and Red 13's, you get it.
You just get it.
You can't not get it. You can't not get that
limit break.
Limit break. It's kind of sad.
It's silly. Yeah, I don't even...
And that's it.
I don't even know... Half the time we talk about Red 13, I'm like, I don't even know why you're in this game other than the ending. And to make plot holes.
Also, how can the dog talk? Dogs don't have lips.
Bark, bark, bark,
part of speech is forming words with lips. I'm doing it right now.
It's true.
Want to talk about you first?
God.
So how do you like the idea of running into Yuffie in a forest randomly?
And then that's your new party member if you answer all the questions.
You have to answer all the questions, and you have to not use a save point. I like that the save point is a trick.
Yeah, that's cute. But other than that, she like at least Vincent kind of shows up at the very sidelines of cutscenes, and he's like, "Yes, I am here." Yuffie's like off screen half the time.
Yeah. For most of the airship sequences, she's off screen because she's sick.
Airship sick.
Yeah, she's air sick. Mm-hmm. We didn't go to Wutai because Wutai is fucking Ninja Village, and we didn't have time for the Ninja Village.
I didn't want to.
Also, the only thing you learn is that Yuffie was a spy the whole time, working against you. That's it.
I mean,
but then
she
joins the party.
Sith, so who cares?
Yeah, talk about reusing the same plot thread for two different characters. Mm-hmm. That's it for you. Yuffie.
We didn't. We used her like once.
Yuffie is like your... Because there's 3 female characters in this game. One is optional. That's Yuffie.
One dies.
One
halfway
dies
through.
So in the case that you didn't get Yuffie, you only have one female character. It's a fucking sausage fest in this game. It's such a fucking guy story. There's no room for women in this game.
Which is some bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, the women get cast off to the side, like Eris's mom and Marlene.
Yeah. And Marlene, we don't even talk about where they went. They're just safe, I guess.
They're safe, I guess.
In another town.
Somehow.
That's it for Euphors. There's nothing left to Euphors.
There's literally nothing about Yuffie.
You want to talk about... Oh, man. First off, unlocking Vincent is a fucking piece of shit.
Weird, fucking stupid thing.
It's a fucking stupid mini game, and also it's really hard to get through it, but we did.
And then the controls.
And I wanna, Kitty, would you mind reenacting for the listeners the thing you said when you walked into the room and you saw Vincent?
Is he an actual vampire?
Is he an actual vampire?
And the game is like...
He's not a vampire, but he's fucking... He might as well be...
He slept for 1,000 years or some bullshit.
No, he slept for like fucking 19 years, I forget. The worst part is that Vincent literally doesn't exist in the story. Since he's an... Okay, this is a game with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 party members. 1 die, 2 are optional. Which means that
6.
Which means that Yuffie and Vincent don't show up in any of the final cutscenes, so they might as well not exist. It's so weird.
It's dumb.
And Vincent is the most powerful character in the whole story.
But we never used him because his limit break sucked.
It does suck. You lose all control over Vincent.
Yeah.
Vincent is, like, I think Vincent is cool because I also played Dirge of Cerberus, which is a cool fucking rail shooter Final Fantasy game where he just shoots with guns, and that's fucking cool.
Listen, I did like Vincent, like, out of the loser tier, he's the best one, but that's not saying much.
That's not saying, that's like literally saying, like, okay, well, if I had to get kicked in the groin in a particular way, I'll take that one.
Right.
Vincent's cool, but also he's nothing. Also, the worst part is that the expanded Final Fantasy universe makes him so important to the story that he is Sephiroth's dad.
Basically.
Because everyone has to be related. I hate this trope where everyone has to be related in some way.
I hate it if it's done clumsily like this.
Yeah.
Like in a better told story, like even in Code Geass where everyone's like related in some way, it's like, alright, that's stupid, but fun.
That's still fine.
Yeah.
Because they're all royalty, because everybody's fucking related.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the joke that I made is like, fucking Lucrezia and Genova and Hojo and Vincent are like 2 sets of mom and dads.
Yep.
Who together gave birth to Sephiroth, 10,000 clones, and Cloud. It's silly. It's silly. Fucking, and that's it for Vincent.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to Vincent.
His best part comes in the movie.
His best line is in the movie where he's like, "Where can I buy a phone? Because I don't have a phone."
I don't have a phone.
I don't have a phone. Vincent don't text.
It's true.
Fuck, we're there. You want to talk about So, what did you feel when Kate Sith?
I think I said
the party.
This is our new party member.
Kate Sith, in case you don't know, is a big stuffed animal
with a cat on top.
Now you may be wondering, which is the character? Is it the stuffed animal or the cat? It's neither. It's Reeve, one of the guys that you don't see.
You barely see Shinra controlling him.
I have no idea how he controls it. Is it his mind? Does he have a little joystick in his crotch that he's just kind of like moving around?
I don't know, because he can like hear both sides at once, so like I don't know what's happening.
Also, he betrays you halfway through, but then he's like, I decided to, Also,
I decided I like you guys.
Kate Sith being in the movie makes literally no fucking sense.
Well, I mean, it's not Kate Sith technically, it's just the cat, who has a very strange Irish accent.
Oh my god. But Kate Sith is the cat.
I suppose that's fair.
No, Kate Sith is Reeve controlling the cat. We fucking... And by the way, no one has ever used Kate Sith in their party. No. I need you to understand, if you play the game casually, you only have 6 party members by the end of the game, and you are not using Kate Sith.
I'll tell you that much.
Nobody's using Kate Sith. His limit breaks are luck-based, and he fights using a megaphone that does random damage. Nobody's using Kate Sith.
That's true. You tell you who else nobody's using. It's our last party member.
To me, it was fantastic. It was amazing when Sid walks into the scene, is smoking a cigarette, swearing, being an asshole, physically abusing a woman, and then
the screen's like, he's your new party member.
And that happened, and I'm like, and you're like, who the fuck is that asshole? And I'm like, that's your new party member. That's Sid. Sid is a jackass. Is an abusive asshole who doesn't have a character arc. He is a character written by a man. And you can tell because Sid is that fantasy that older men have where they wish they can just grow up to be an asshole and have no consequences to their actions.
Yep. He just wants to go to space, but that fucking woman.
He's the same... Oh, fuck. And that's a line. It's the same energy as, like, shows like Mad Men. Where, like, you just want to be an asshole and get away with it. It's the fucking biggest male fantasy ever. Be an asshole and get away with it.
Yep. Be rewarded in most cases.
Be rewarded for it. Oh, my God.
He also uses a spear, which makes literally no sense.
It was hilarious when, like, you're going into combat with Sith for the first time, and I'm like, okay, Kitty, before we fight, I want you to guess what Sith's weapon is. And your guess was?
It's a gun.
Because, I mean, at least it makes sense because he's all about spaceships, and guns kind of propel bullets.
I mean, it made more sense than, like, any other, like, handheld weapon. I was like, he wouldn't have a sword. He wouldn't use his fists. He's an airship pilot, you know, pirate, therefore, gun.
He fights with a spear.
For some...
Because he's supposed to be the Lancer or Dragoon archetype. Except that this game is not trying to be a Final Fantasy game. Because, like, what archetype is Cloud? The warrior? The problem in this game is that there's no character identity because everybody can use all the magics whenever they want to, and everybody can summon whenever they want to.
Which is fair, but also...
Which is fair, and it gives you the freedom to not use half of the party all the time.
It's true.
But in games like 9 and games like 10, since the roles are rigid, you're able to be like, okay, I need a summoner, bring Yuna into the party. I need a summoner, I need a healer, bring Garden into the party. Bring Baby Girl into the party. Baby Girl. You know, I need a thief. Bring Saidan. Bring Riku. But since in FF7, anybody can be the thief and the summoner, or in most cases, Cloud is the thief, the summoner, the morpher, the buffer, the debuffer, the healer. You don't need the other 2 party members. You're done.
Yeah.
So, in the case of, like, how do you identify characters if not with the weapon they wield? Cloud wields a sword, Tifa fights with her fist, Barret has a gun that sometimes is a close-range weapon, Kate Sith doesn't matter, Red 13 fights with his hairpins?
No, he fights with he, like, bites shit.
No, but his equipment is a hairpin.
Oh, yeah. Which makes no sense.
Yuffie has ninja stars, Vincent has guns.
We couldn't have 2 characters with guns.
Aerith fights with a staff.
Yeah, because she's the girl.
It's so weird that she fights with that. And in the remake, she just doesn't swing the staff. She just does spells, which is dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
What's character identity? And then, maybe in a way, that's why it's harder to like these characters. Because when you remove their own uniqueness in combat...
then, like, there's nothing left.
Yeah, I think it's a very similar case with, like, Kimahri. Because it's like, Kimahri's mechanics kind of suck.
Yeah, because you're just taking from other...
And then you're like, okay, well... What about his story? He has no story, no personality.
He has a story, but it's kind of lame.
It's very lame, and then his personality is like, oh...
And it gets finished, like, pretty quickly, so you kind of get to forget about him.
Yeah. Because at least with characters like Lulu, you're like, fuck yeah, damage, let's go double cast.
Give me that Fira.
Double cast. And with Luna, with Yuna, you're like, fuck yeah, summon a big-ass monster.
Summon a big dragon.
And with Walking, you can be like, heck yeah, racism.
No. Throw that blitzball in the air. You're the only one that can hit far away.
No, see, when I realized that Auron can also hit flying enemies, I never used Walk ever again.
It's true. His attack kind of sucks, and his, what the fuck are they called in that game?
I think they're called... They're not called limit bricks. I think they're called limit. I think they're called limits.
Might just be limits. Yeah.
I forget.
But his limits.
Oh, they're called overdrives.
Overdrive. Thank you.
Yeah.
His overdrive sucks.
Yeah.
So. Is it raining out there? Or is it just wet?
Nah, it's just wet. Well,
that was all the characters. So it's time.
So after you have gone and saved the world.
After we're at 20 hours because we played the remake and sped through a bunch of shit. It's probably more like 40 hours.
So if some jackass in the comments is being like, oh, it doesn't count because you guys didn't struggle through it. You learned nothing. You
gained nothing.
We struggled plenty. Also, the story doesn't get better by grinding.
No.
You are a very silly and very naive person.
I'm already tired of grinding in 6.
Yeah,
we barely grinded.
Yeah,
and we have to grind in that one.
We have to grind in 6
because there's no remake.
Because there's no remake for 6 yet. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's like the phone, but those don't have the little boosts.
Yeah,
that really help replaying one of these old ass fucking games. But anyhow, after you have saved the world and stopped everything, and you have stopped Meteor from destroying the planet. Wait, hold on, spoilers. You didn't stop it. The planet decided to help.
Yeah, but not really.
Like I mean, that's what the movie says. Like, the planet decided to save you at the last minute, which is really stupid.
But then it just died anyway, basically.
And the unfortunate I misremembered how the ending went. I thought that the big whiteness happened, and then the camera just cut to black, and that was the ending. You get a little bit more, but it's still like it just leaves you with nothing. The game ends right there after the conclusion of that.
Yep.
Is there any closure for your characters? No. Do you get any scenes learning more about them and what happened afterwards?
Don't be an idiot.
It feels like the game ran out of budget, or more alternatively, very much in the Evangelion sense, it just ends because it's easier to not have to say anything.
It's easier to leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah, it's easier to be like, if you want to find out the rest, look it up yourself.
Watch this extended universe movie and play these 3 other games.
I knew how this game ended. I knew how unsatisfactory it was, so I was just looking at Kitty's face the whole time. And when the credits rolled,
when the credits started, and I was like, "Oh, what do you mean that's it?
What do you mean?
There's more, right?"
Oh, there's more, but it's worse.
It's
so after the very long credits,
that you can't skip.
You get a sequence where you see Red 13, older, with 2 pups somehow, running across a wasteland, and I believe that you get 500 years later.
Yeah, it's 500 years later.
And they come up onto a hill, and then you see Midgar, and it's
overrun with plants. It looks like Last of Us.
It looks like Last of Us.
Yeah.
And then the screen cuts to white, and you hear children laughing. Mm-hmm. And some people are very silly and take this to mean that humanity lived on. You are silly. Humanity is dead.
Died.
And the lead writer has gone on record to say that is the canonical ending. Mm-hmm. All the humans die.
Yeah. Because
the humans were the real problem in the planet.
They were the real wound for the planet. Not Genova. It was Midgar the entire time. Which in a better story, again, would be a clever twist of being like, yeah, you thought this thing was what was killing the planet. No, it's this.
And what a lighthearted way to end the story. Yeah. Life, it's very much like the end of Evangelion. Life doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Don't struggle. Don't try better. Just give up and die.
Everything's gonna go to hell anyway.
Yeah. What a great meaning. What a great lesson to impart.
To tell.
What a great message to pass on to the player after playing, in most cases, 40 to 50 hours.
Up to like 60 to 100.
All the things you did don't matter because
the world's gonna end soon.
Because the world and there's something we want to clarify, okay? Because people are like, oh, well, humanity still had 498 years left? No. You're very silly. That means that within 500 years, they're all gone. They could live on for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
But
and it's more likely that it's been a long time since humanity because because Midgar is completely overgrown with plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's to indicate that all the life essence from humans has gone back to the planet and has refed the planet. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that's a fucking lame-ass ending.
That's so unsatisfactory. Like, not only do we get no resolution for any character except Red 13 for some reason, like, just to learn that it was all in the end worth nothing. Because the humanity's going to die anyway. Because the planet has chosen this way out. And
I know what you're all thinking. Wait. Max, Kitty. You're a bunch of stupid idiots. The planet going on and living on is better than humans living on. I'm on Team Humans. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm on Team Humans. I think that's fine, but like at least give me a conclusion to these characters, and then you can say, oh yeah, they lived on the rest of their lives, and then the rest of humanity fucking died. I need you to understand that like that ending. You might as well have had the big explosion just kill everyone in the high wind.
Yeah.
And kill everyone within 1,000... just have a nuclear winter and everybody fucking suffers a slow, horrible death. It's the same thing. You end up robbing hope from the player because you've been playing this game for 50 hours and you've grown attached to these characters. Somehow, Kate Sith can die.
Yeah.
And Sid can die.
Yeah.
But what about Tifa?
What about Tifa?
What about Marlene?
Yeah. What about the baby?
What about the baby?
Oh, baby. What about Aerith's mom who never shows up again? I was hoping that would be a good moment of being like, come back from basically this horrible battle and be like, so your daughter's dead.
Hey, your daughter's dead.
Thanks for taking care of Marlene, bye.
Peace.
But no, that never happens. No, that thing's fucking terrible.
It's really, like, Like, and it's not because everybody dies, it's just because it leaves you with no satisfaction. Why does it have to end like that?
It doesn't have to. You could be like, yep, Cloud got better, and he and Tifa married, and I don't know, had a baby, who knows.
But that would require...
writing.
That would require writing and everything.
Yeah. We only had enough budget for 2 cutscenes. One was the ending cutscene, and then one was the after credits cutscene.
And, like, this is extra unfortunate, considering how previous Final Fantasy games... Final Fantasy VI is famous and infamous for having, like, a 40-minute ending cutscene where you go character by character, learning what happened to them.
Yeah. And even, like, 10, which leaves a little bit of not interpretation, but like doesn't completely flesh out everyone's...
It's not a happy ending.
No, I mean, like, it doesn't completely flesh out everyone's story of what happens next. Like, there's a sequel, so it's fine.
It's also a little bit of that. But even the basic ending of Final Fantasy X...
it's still a conclusion to the story that resolves some of the character arcs that feels earned.
And also... that makes sense for what happened. Like,
matters.
The thing that happens to those 2 characters makes sense because those 2 characters were the thing they were. That's what was going to happen all the way. Because I like FF10 because you have... For the first part of the story, you as the player are going, Tidus, you're dumb. Don't you realize what's going to happen to Yuna when she completes the thingy?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that...
it spins on its head,
you the player go, oh my god, the thing is going to happen to Tidus and Auron because they are the thingy.
Yeah.
And you can't escape it.
You cannot stop it.
You spend the first half of the game being able to not escape the reality that Yuna's going to have to sacrifice herself to stop Sin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you spend the rest of the game realizing that Tidus and Auron, in order to solve the problem, they have to perish.
Pretty much.
It's great.
It is great.
It's really strong and it makes sense. It's
emotionally fulfilling.
And you have a sequel that gives you even more.
Yeah.
And in FF7, you're like, all these characters that we talked about have no resolution to any of their characters. And because there is no additional side quests that give you their ultimate item. Because for Barret, you just talk to a lady to get his ultimate limit break.
Yeah, for Tifa, you play a fucking piano.
And then somehow she learns her final move.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't any character development like you have in Chrono Trigger, where everybody gets a moment to do something with their lives.
Yeah. It's fucking bullshit.
God. Same company.
Even, like, the babyest RPG for babies, Paper Mario, does this way better.
Yeah, even Paper Mario has a better conclusion to the events that happen in the story.
Yeah, everybody gets their own little character arc, all your party members.
Yeah. You can invite Luigi to the parade.
And when the fuck did fucking Paper Mario...
I think it's like 2001.
Oh my god, so the fucking boss is texting me. I'm like, no. Paper Mario, thank you.
We were comparing FF7 to a bunch of RPGs from the time, and I'm like, it's just...
2000 in Japan, 2001 for everybody else.
3 years later.
Yeah.
3 years later.
Yeah. And The Thousand Year Door is like an amazing actual story.
And you gotta realize, it's not like... It's not like in 3 years they discovered new ways to write good stories. Like, this game could have had really good writing in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't.
Nope.
God.
What a bad game.
Let's talk about the remake.
Yeah.
I have no hope. I have negative hope for the remake of Final Fantasy VII. It is going to be bad and it will not be finished. If you out there are like, I have already pre-ordered it, you're a fool. You're not buying the full game. That pre-order is for the first episode of Final Fantasy VII. And Square Enix, as of the recording of this video on June 20th, 2019, has revealed that they don't know how many episodes it is going to be. You are a fool to pre-order that game. That game will not be finished. And the first chapter is Midgar. And Midgar is 2 hours into a 50-hour game.
Yep. And how much of that are they going to cut?
Sorry, like you just blew my mind because you're right. It took us 2 hours to get through Midgar, and
we had the cross-dressing scene,
and half of that, and a quarter of that is the cross-dressing sequence.
Yeah, which is going to get cut.
And they said it's gonna get cut, and I hate that because I would love to see Cloud cross-dressing, but then they realized that it's really
not
bad.
Cool.
It's really also talking about prostitution in this dark, dreary world. Oh no,
too real.
The whole time we were playing through this game, we were like, that thing is not gonna be in the remake. The doing CPR to a child is not gonna be in the remake.
No.
The jumping on a dolphin is not gonna be in the remake. No. The snowboarding for 5 minutes with no music is not gonna be in the remake.
No.
They're gonna take all the wandering bits out, and this is gonna be like a Life is Strange supercut.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel like a fan-made supercut of Final Fantasy VII. And like, the first episode is Midgar. Midgar!
No.
It takes 2 hours to get through Midgar, and most of it is because you're traversing through bullshit.
I mean, it looks like they're gonna make it like a more of an open kind of area for Midgar, which I guess is going to supplement.
I guess
the wandering.
Do you want to go through I just thought of all the fucking Shinra thing, like the Shinra choice, where you can choose to go through the floors, or look at this fantastic gaming choice. Okay, you can choose to go through 59 floors, just to go through 59 staircases. What a fantastic! You can choose to spend more time to do less gameplay.
Running in a circle.
What a fucking great game!
Yeah.
The whole time we were playing, we're like, that's not gonna be in the remake, and like.
Even, like, important plot points, like, I'm still doubtful. Like Cloud being a vegetable for a while, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be in the remake.
They're not going to do that in the remake.
I don't think that's going to happen, even though it's kind of pivotal. Kind of.
And there's characters where I'm like, how are they going to do Vincent and Yuffie? Like, are they going to do the Ninja Village? Are we going to go to Wutai?
I guess.
I don't think so. Wutai's so bad.
Yeah. But the people they demand Yuffie. I don't think they do, but...
What if Yuffie's just a DLC character? Did you just, like...
You gotta fucking buy.
Did you just equip?
God. I mean, there's DLC summons. So
there's DLC summons already, which is silly.
Yeah. I hate it.
And
I hate it.
They're changing the materia system, so, like...
What's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it looked good, but that's about it.
But
Aerith looked good.
Yeah, and Tifa looks good, because they're like, yeah, maybe she
shouldn't...
actually
acknowledge that she shouldn't have giant boobs.
Yeah.
Instead, she has 2 sports bras to contain all that raw power.
Exactly. Her boobs are so powerful, she requires 2 sports bras.
That's true.
I have absolutely no hope for the remake, because I see this as a gargantuan task, both only in writing, in mechanics, and in gameplay. There is so much stupid little bullshit in this game.
There's so much writing on this, too.
Are we gonna do the scene where Cloud and gang find Hojo? The guy behind most of the problems in this game, and the troubles, as in like the bad things that happen, and he's sunbathing in the beach,
surrounded by women,
just eating grapes or just being offered grapes by ladies in bikinis, and we're gonna have Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa be like, can't do nothing. We could just kill him right now. We could just grab him and torture him and figure out what's going on. But we gotta be.
But man, he's on vacation. We can't do that to a man on vacation.
Are we gonna have the marching sequence?
No.
All of these little sequences, all the in-between moments in the story are so silly.
So we're gonna cut them out and replace them with what? Wandering around open towns? Is that what's gonna happen to this remake?
And we've seen the trailers, and it looks like they're gonna add more story. They're gonna add more of Cloud seeing Sephiroth,
which might fix a lot of the story beats, but it could also just be like jerking your own.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, look at Sephiroth.
We talked about this with Evangelion, and I'm like, listen, like, I'm expecting the writing to be better, but that's not
saying much.
It's like, yeah, man, if I got to rewrite the same story multiple times over, I would make it very good.
I would actually make it better.
I would make it better.
Have, suspense and...
Yeah, it's almost as though that's how writing a story works. You write it and then you revise it to make sure everything rings true. Jesus Christ, do I have to explain everything to you? Anyhow.
It's true.
I have no faith for that remake, absolutely. And also, like,
it doesn't even look fun.
And the whole fact that it has very shady marketing where they're like, buy the game now.
Pre-order now, get this cool Cloud on a bike.
Get the first episode, because
Let's not forget.
It's not the finished game.
You're not pre-ordering the entire game, I'm certain of it. Unless no.
No, they're doing it like Life is Strange, because remember, Square Enix has actually been publishing Life is Strange and a bunch of other episodic games.
But they did it, like, with a better price point.
Yeah.
This is $60 for the first fucking episode.
And I assume you get all of the episodes.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't know. How are they going to monetize it more?
And also, let us remember that Square... You have to realize, companies are run by people, and people are fucking stupid.
People are greedy and stupid.
You gotta realize, what happened with FF15? FF15 is a fucking mess, and is very badly written.
Mm-hmm. So they tried to patch in as much as they could.
And to the point where... I know people who are playing it right now and are like, wow, there's a lot of game here. The story's still not good at all.
No, you still have to read supplemental material.
Like, I need you to understand how silly it is. That in order to understand the big pivotal point of Final Fantasy XV, you have to watch a movie. You have to go buy a movie!
Or watch an anime.
Well, you have to do that before, because otherwise the boys have no character to them at all.
That's true. And then
the character is still lame.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that guy, he was fat, but now he's not.
Woo!
Character.
Thanks, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. It was funny because we're playing 13. Oh, no, we're playing 7, and you're like, 13 is so much better than 7.
Yeah.
Like 13 is long-winded.
Yes.
That's like the one way to describe 13. It's long-winded.
It's not meandering, but like it takes its fucking time.
But even that was like better than fucking the whole experience of 7.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have stupid mini games.
At least I liked the characters. I liked most of the characters. At least
because even in 13 we could have arguments about Snow.
Yeah.
We could have arguments about Snow and about Hope and about the canonically lesbian characters of fucking Vanille and Fang. Then I'm like, we could have arguments about Lightning, who's actually a pretty good character.
She's a good main character.
That's a loud truck coming down.
It's
the video game police. They're like, okay, all right, guys, you play Final Fantasy VII with cheats, so it doesn't matter.
So nothing you say counts.
Your opinion doesn't matter. It's invalidated.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you think we're wrong, go back and play FF7.
Do it,
you coward.
How much was it? It was like $20.
It was like $20, yeah.
Go ahead, spend that $20.
Throw that money down the drain.
And then pre-order the first episode.
Pre-order the first episode of Final Fantasy VII.
Which comes out the same day as Animal Crossing, so it's not happening.
Guess what we're gonna play?
Animal Crossing.
We might even buy 2 copies of Animal Crossing.
We might even have 2 Switches by then.
That's how fucking... See, when I think of the FF7 remake, I'm like, ugh. When I think of Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Switch releasing on March 20th, 2020, I'm like, fucking hype, let's go!
Yeah. Because I was like, we were talking about this off camera, and we were like, oh, maybe we could buy it and we can play it or whatever. But then we were like, oh, it comes out the same fucking day as Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not happening.
We'll buy it later. But like, listen.
We'll buy it 2 weeks later when it's discounted 20% already.
See, you know how we're gonna do it? Here's how we're gonna do it, okay? We're gonna do it the exact same way we treated 15. Where we're like, it's like, yeah, we got 15. We're gonna play 15, and then we're like, more content keeps coming out. More content keeps coming out. The game is incomplete. The more content keeps coming out, and then the news come out. The news come out that like development is finished, and there will be
those last things they were working on is not happening.
The last episodes, one of which includes all the information about the antagonist. And about Luna Freya, which is the only female character in that game.
Yeah, what's her face doesn't count.
Yeah, the other girl. The girl
Sid.
who's I forget.
Not Sid.
Oh, Sid's fucking niece, who's a fucking sex object.
Yeah.
All those chapters, they're gone.
Got trashed.
They're trashed, so goodbye.
So you will never get a complete Final Fantasy 15. Will you get a complete Final Fantasy 7? Probably not. I have little...
I have so little faith in them being it, because FF7 is such a big game with so much that happens in there that like what would even be episode 2? Nibelheim?
No, it's way too early for Nibelheim.
No. What is it? It's Cosmo. No, because after Midgar, they go. Oh no, it's not Nibelheim. It's the flashback regarding Nibelheim. The first flashback. Is that gonna be the episode 2?
That's way too soon.
No, it's the first thing they do, because after you leave Midgard, you go into that small town that's not Nibelheim, and then you stay in the inn, and Cloud tells the story. Oh. And that story takes like 2 hours. Is that gonna be episode 2?
I guess.
Is it gonna be the flashback? The flashback that we revisit through the entirety of the game? Because then what? You do Fort Condor after that? I think they have said that there won't be an overworld. So what? You just go for... After that you do what? Cosmo Canyon? Then what? Then you go... Because after Cosmo Canyon, you keep Red 13 forever, then you go over to that gun city, Junon.
Yeah.
And then you go into fucking Latin American beach town. And then what happens after that?
Fucking can't even remember.
I can't even remember what happens after that.
And we played this like a month ago?
There's a gap in my memory. Because after that... Oh, after that, you have to go to the Golden Saucer. Is the Golden Saucer going to be its own episode?
Is the Golden Saucer going to be even in the game?
The Golden Saucer is such a cartoon Toontown world that I don't understand. Is it just going to be elevators? Is it going to be like tubes? Are they going to do the tubes?
I don't think they're going to do the tubes.
Are they going to do all the mini games? I don't think so.
No.
Are they going to do the point-and-click adventure game Moogle game?
No.
Are they gonna do the battle arena with Dio, who's a man who's shirtless and is just wearing like a loincloth?
Probably not.
Who contains the who has the MacGuffin in his museum from the beginning of the game?
Probably not.
And after that, what? You get kicked out of it. You have to go back in by winning a chocobo race, and then you learn about the MacGuffin in the Temple of the Ancients.
Yeah.
And the Black Materia.
And Kate Sith being an asshole. No, wait, that's a little bit later, but still.
Like that's. You get the because you need to get the key to the Ancients, which means you go back to the Golden Saucer.
And then Kate Sith.
And then you go to the Temple of the Ancients where the writing dies. And then someone else dies after that. And then, the game is, when you actually boil down FF7 to its story beats and not all the fucking grinding and moving from place to place, there's, like, so little. Which I guess it's better for the remake.
Yeah, because they can add a bunch of shit.
But I feel like people will realize just how, like...
little content is actually in the game.
When you remove the stupid WarioWare minigames, and you remove all the wandering about, and you remove all the meandering, there's, like...
Yeah.
A quick checklist of events, and they're not even interesting.
No. You get some side characters.
Because the thing is, like...
Oh, we forgot about Rocket Town.
Yeah, Rocket Town. Fuck Rocket Town. Listen. What year did Armageddon come out in, anyhow? The issue that I have with FF7 is that FF7 is iconic because of Midgar. Because that was... a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers, that was their first exposure to cyberpunk or to, like, dystopia.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the rest of FF7 is not that.
No.
The rest of FF7 is, like, fucking canyons and small European towns. And a town a town where people built a rocket around, which is a really stupid idea. Let's just make this very clear.
A tilted rocket.
A mining town and Vegas, but it's built on a tree.
Yep.
And it's Vegas.
Blood sakes. And
it has the most annoying theme in the whole game. We turned off the music for our grinding for the Omnislash because we were fucking tired of it.
Yeah, dare you remake people to put that song in.
I think they won't. Or they'll make it like a jazz kind of like remakes, like... Anyhow, I can't sing. I can't scat. See, you're way better. Bibbidi babbidi doo. Are we done? Are we out? Have we gotten all of the demon out of us?
I fucking hope so. It's like an hour and a half.
Every time we do a rant like this, like 20 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, I should have talked about that. Fuck, I should have talked about that.
Yep. That's what happens. It's fine. Oh, you had notes.
Oh fuck, I have notes! Let's go!
Let's see if we talk
Let's make this 2 hours! I hope you guys are having fun, like, I don't know, are you walking home? Are you walking your dog? Are you, commuting to work? Mm-hmm. Are you commute or commute?
Commute.
Commute. Because commune is something else entirely.
Yes, it is.
Are you in your commune? I don't know, anyhow. Let me fucking find it. FF7 stupid bits. Alright. Yeah, Temple of the Ancients. Oh, the dodging the boulders minigame fucking sucked.
That was a horrible minigame.
Oh yeah, and what is theme? Because you have a lot of moments that are undermined by characters just saying random things, or just being the anime. Kate Sith.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's this line? I forgot that you could beat up Aerith.
Well, remember when Cloud goes kind of crazy?
Oh,
and he just starts fucking punching Aerith. Right.
Oh, that's not gonna be in the remake.
No.
They're not gonna show Cloud actually punching Aerith. No. Asinine writing, that's the Temple of the Ancients. There are 90 tracks in this game, but only like 4 get used all the time. Snowboarding with no music. The battle for Condor is really pointless because you can override the entire minigame. Because if you don't know, Fort Condor is a RTS segment of the game where you have to put units in a map so that they stop other units.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if they
just get to the top,
if the enemy units make it to the top of your base, you just fight them.
Yeah,
like you would, and even
because we did that so late, like
we were so strong, we just stomped it. It was fucking silly. Oh, also, fuck, everything clips.
Oh my god, everything does clip together.
Every 3D model clips into every 3D model. It feels like no one tested what summonings look like. Especially towards the end
of the game.
Especially towards the end of the game.
Because, like, you know, fucking Tifa suplexing things and, like, you can't even see Tifa. Everything's just clipping through the big monster.
And there's that moment in Temple of the Ancients where you fight a wall and everything clips through it. The summonings clip through it, the moves clip through it, the limit breaks clip through it. Also, can we just talk about how dumb it is that a wall moves forward to attack you?
It's fine.
Also, let us not forget the worst piece of writing in this game is when the writing says that the way Cloud is due to Tifa.
Yeah.
Because Tifa was cool, and Cloud wanted to impress Tifa, so he went off to try to become a soldier.
That's stupid.
And it's phrased as though it is her fault, and she apologizes.
Yeah.
Even though, let's get that toxic masculinity out of the way, it's Cloud's fault, because he wanted to impress someone. It's his fault.
Someone he didn't even fucking know.
It's his fault, because he had dreams of grandeur. It's not Tifa's fault because she was cool, and she didn't invite him to her group of friends. Because he was a fucking lame-ass kid.
Because he was a loser.
Also, let us not forget that Cloud was cool all along.
Yep.
He killed Sephiroth.
Even 5 years ago, which is maybe 7 years
when
ago.
When he was weak and lame, he killed Sephiroth.
When he was just a grunt. And then he did it again. And then he did it again.
You're telling me that Cloud somehow, with his stupid large sword and stubby ass
large sword that he stole from Zack.
He snuck up on Sephiroth and struck a wounding blow.
A fatal blow.
And then when Sephiroth stabbed him through the chest, Cloud was like, nope, you're gonna go down.
I'm fine.
Somehow he was fine.
Yep.
That's it? We're out.
We gotta go.
Hey guys.
I'm fucking tired now.
What did you think of Final Fantasy VII? Man, some of the comments are gonna be like, yeah, the game's still good though. I'm like, you're silly.
Even on my our Twitter feeds when we were posting about it, they were like, oh, but the game's still good, the music's so good, it's very iconic, revolutionary themes.
I'm like, no.
No.
Go back and replay it.
You should.
Go back and replay it.
Do it. Do it, you coward.
This is why, and I talked about this on the podcast recently, episode 43 in the end of the video club at the very end. You have to go back to rewatch the things that you enjoyed. No, okay, not because the things you liked are bad, but to learn from them, especially as storytellers and as people who create creative content. Go back to them, analyze what they did good and what they did bad. Like, this is actually part of growing as a person.
Yeah, not just putting on your nostalgic glasses and being like, yes, everything is great. There's nothing wrong with my favorite thing.
Not to repeat myself, but like, the things you like don't define who you are as a person. Like, I feel like that's the biggest pitfall of our generation, are people who define themselves by the things they like, aka, I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
Like, you like games, but you're not those games. You're a person who happens to like that. And you know, it's the thing where, like, you know, how do you describe yourself? You know, what traits do you describe yourself? You know, do you see yourself as a kind person? Do you see yourself as a grateful person, as a considerate person, as a brave person? Like, how do you define yourself without the things that you like? You know? Because I like FF9, I like FF10, I grew up playing these RPGs and video games, and video games are a part of my life. But games don't define me.
Yeah, that's one of the things about, like, stans recently that's been, like, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, listen, as of the time of this recording, I just got into Hamilton, like, 5 years late, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not gonna be like, yes, I am now a Hamilton stan. Because, like, I really like it, but, like, it's not my life. I just want to, like, fucking listen to the music, watch the play, bada bing, bada boom.
I don't want to, like, get super deep in this, but, like, the whole idea of stans is just so...
And it's very toxic in the idol community, especially, because it encourages a lot of monetization and stuff like that, and a lot of, like, gaming. So, the idea of stan is, like... You can love something. You can love a thing. You can love it so much you spend tons of money on it, but you also need to understand that that's not you.
To me, it just seems like I like this so much that I would kill myself over it.
Jesus.
Because that's what happens in the song.
In the song?
In the song "Stan" by Eminem.
Yeah. He
kills himself at the end. Don't you realize that's what the meaning comes from?
Yeah. She's gone cold and wondering where.
Like, that's what it means. It's bad. You can like something, my dude. You can be a fan of it, but, like,
you can spend your money. You're earning money on it, but it's not you.
It's not you.
Just
cool down a little.
Life.
Step back. Learn from it. Grow. Listen, I have watched. Now that you've seen the TMNT movies, you have seen everything that I grew up watching.
Pretty much.
Like And I like that because especially because you're my spouse, you're my life, you're the love of my life. I love you, and I feel like this very open book nature now because you've seen what I liked and we've both examined them. And Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time, but it has flaws, and I have learned from it now.
1 or 2.
1 has way more flaws.
Fair.
2 has
you like 2 better though.
I like 2 better because it contains the first movie in there.
Yeah.
But like, they have their flaws, and I have learned from them, and I'm a better person, and I can look fondly towards my attachment of them, and because the things that we love in fiction, especially as storytellers, are the moments in which a particular game or movie or book
speaks to us,
gave us the what if. What if there was this big, ugly organization that it was sucking the life from the planet?
Literally sucking the life from the planet.
What if you just found yourself back in the year 1955, and you had to make sure that your parents got together? This moment of wonder that, if given to a young person, it injects them with the sense of wonder, and it makes their imagination grow. That's the fondness that I have for the things that I grew up watching. But I can look past that. I can still respect that and still grow from those things.
Yep.
Anyhow, this Saturday morning episode of Dango Duo.
Actually, wouldn't it be Friday?
Huh? Oh yeah, it's Friday. This video's going up on Friday. Anyhow, hey guys, Kitty, is there anything else you want to say? The final word goes to you.
Fair. As much as we did not enjoy the game, I do appreciate that we played it. Because it is a piece of culture, however dumb, however silly, however idolized it is, you know. It's one of those things that, like, it's just kind of part of our culture.
It is very much like Evangelion.
Yeah, exactly. Which, in a way, I'm glad we played it, but I don't want to go back, and we're not going to touch the remake till it's, like, done-ish.
If it ever gets done.
If it ever gets done.
And right now, that's Kitty popping one of her fingers, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you're wondering, like, oh no, did something break now?
Yeah.
And it's funny because finishing FF7 made us want to go back and play FF6.
Yeah.
And we're playing FF6 right now. We started playing that.
We're playing 9 on the channel.
And we're playing 9 on the channel, so this is becoming a Final Fantasy channel now.
Yep. Actually, like, my favorite thing is, if you guys remember that old video where we ranked Final Fantasies and I hadn't played any of them, I want to go back and, like, do that.
Yeah.
Having played more.
Having played more, how do you feel about 7? Yeah.
I still think I don't know what I put it. I think I put it pretty middle of the road, but it would be slightly lower middle of the road.
Yeah. We definitely put 6 above 7.
Yeah.
Because 6 hits a bunch of themes that we find in 7 anyway.
Yeah.
It's so silly. But anyhow.
10's still the best.
I think so. And it's weird. Because it's not the first one I played. The first one I played was 4. And then I played 9, and I'm like, fucking 9 is great. I've beaten 1 like 3 times, because 1 is just so good and quick. 10, played 12, played 13. I think 10 is the most solid of them all. And it probably still has the best mechanic, which is being the sphere grid.
Yeah.
That is still the coolest thing. And in the HD re-release, you can actually have a fully free sphere grid. Which you didn't have in the original game.
Yeah,
but anyhow,
which is really cool. Anyway, the point of this is go back and play the old games that you loved, but also go play Final Fantasy X because it's the best.
And that's that. Hey guys, we're Dango Duo. If you like us ranting for 2 hours about random things, fuck, we're gonna have to make it like a 2-hour fucking B-roll.
That's what I said.
Okay, I'm gonna have to record that off because we can't just have that going for 2 hours. We'll do it after we finish recording.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I hope you like the B-roll in the background of just a bunch of clouds just fighting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, for watching. We're Dango Duo. If you love anime and gameplay content, please tag along, subscribe, leave a like. The description of this video has a bunch of handy links, and if you want to support us, treat us to a cup of coffee, or buy us something from our Amazon wishlist, or support us through Patreon. Woo! $1 a month gets you to watch these videos early.
Yay.
So you could have watched this long-ass video. You could have gotten it on Wednesday.
Oh my god.
With plenty of time to watch it, you know, during the middle of the hump of the week. And also, you could get shoutouts like the following people.
Lexel Hoshi.
Amelia.
Angela.
Aerosols.
Leah.
Luna.
And Sound.
Sound. Sound.
Where's the sound of my cat?
There it is.
Yeah,
they can't hear it because the music's on. Anyhow, guys, we know FF7. Best point of it, Tiefers.
Tifa.
Knockers. Tiefers.
Bazongas.
Tiefers with her beefers. Okay, alright, let's get out of here. Hey guys. We'll see you on Sunday with the movie review of Final Fantasy VII. Advent Children. The Promised Reunion.
Yeah.